welcome back to the Power 5 Sports League Proverbs podcast with Coach A, Coach Norman, where we break down the journey from youth sports to the pros. Whether you're a young athlete, a parent, or just an overall sports fan, this is the place for you. I'm your host, MC Mike, and as always, I'm joined by two Permian Basin coaching legends, Coach Norman and Coach A, and today's very special guest, the great Pat Thomas. Gentlemen, how blessed are we today?
Man, we blessed beyond measure, man.
Right.
Blessed beyond measure, man. It's a wonderful day today.
All I
Episode
can say
10.
Yeah, all I can say is we woke up this morning.
Hey, this is so true. Right?
Woke up on the right side of the grass.
Right side of the dirt.
Yeah. So buckle up for this intro.
Yeah.
Today we'll be discussing a true path from Texas youth sports to the pros by one of the most accomplished players that Plano, Texas has ever produced. Starring in one of the best defensive backfields in NCAA history, Mr. Thomas earned All-American honors in 1974 and 1975, making him one of the top defensive backs in the nation. He became one of 10 players drafted out of Texas A&M in the NFL's 1976 draft class, the most Aggies ever taken in a single draft. 22 total players from that 1975 A&M team would ultimately be drafted between 1976 and 1979, the truest golden age for Aggies football.
Right.
Selected in the second round by the Los Angeles Rams of the 1976 NFL draft, some argue he should have been taken by the Cowboys in the first round. Pat went on to become one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL during his 7 seasons with the Los Angeles Rams, yielding 26 career interceptions, including a 33-yard pick six against the Giants in 1978, amassing 292 interception return yards, 7 fumble recoveries. He was a 2-time Pro Bowler, including a 1978 second-team All-Pro designation and a 1980 first-team All-Pro. During the 1979 season, he was a key defensive force in the Rams' improbable run to Super Bowl 14, which included victories over the heavily favored 2-time NFC champion Dallas Cowboys in the divisional game and a shutout of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the conference championship game 9-0, thus capturing the Rams' first ever NFC championship title. Post-playing career, Pat took his skills to the sidelines as a coach for the USFL's Houston Gamblers and at the University of Houston before moving on to the NFL for 10 seasons, where he was with the Houston Oilers, Indianapolis Colts, and Buffalo Bills. Following his collegiate and professional coaching career, Pat was drawn back to the roots of youth football, where he coached at schools up in Buffalo, New York, and Galveston, Texas, with a drive to teach kids, and I quote, how to win at life. He is one of the elite members of the Texas High School Hall of Fame class of 2025, notably for his pre-Ace Ventura kick-heard round-the-world field goal, which propelled Plano High School over Brownwood in the semifinal matchup, thus paving the way for a 21-20 Division IIIA state championship title over Gregory Portland in 1971. The truth is, I could sit here all day and rattle all these different accomplishments off about Pat's career, but I would steal the mic for the entire afternoon.
Right.
Before we get too deep into this conversation, I'm going to pass this over to Coach A as we digest everything we just heard, and he's going to lead us in today's prayer.
Well, let's bow and thank our Heavenly Father. Dear Heavenly Father, again, I continue to tell you this, but thank you for a day that was not promised. Father, I ask that today that you order our steps, you order our minds and our hearts. Father, and I continue to ask that you give us the words to say, Father God, that we can come out and reach those that are listening, Father. Today, you have blessed us with the opportunity to talk and to pick the brain of one of your kids that they use their talent in the way that they were supposed to, Father. So, Father, allow him to give us the gifts of wisdom so that we can continue to share it. I pray this in your son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
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 This episode is sponsored by JMR Service, expert in plugging and abandonment. When it's time to safely close oil and gas wells, JMR gets it done right, protecting the land, preserving the water, and making sites safe for the future. Trust the team that seals with integrity. JMR Service.
All right. And Coach Norman, you're gonna introduce us to today's proverb. Proverb, was it 13:22?
Yes, sir. So we got Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. And I love this verse, man. I think it's going to tie in real well to today's guest that we have. Just breaking that down a little bit, a good man implies someone who lives wisely and righteously. A good man that leaves an inheritance. When you talk about leaving an inheritance, it goes beyond just financial wealth. It includes values, wisdom, character, all of these things, spiritual guidance, all of these things that help one be better in life, and not just in economics.
Right.
And then to his children's children, it shows the long-term impact of a life well lived. Creating a legacy that blesses multiple generations, I just love this verse, man, and that's my take on it. It's gonna you will see how it ties in later on today as we get into this show with Mr. Thomas.
Right, man. That you are absolutely right. I know reading this proverb, one thing that I always think about when I am in the word and looking at this is like inheritance. Like, what are you leaving? What are you leaving?
Yeah.
Not athletic wise or even family. You don't want people to know about your stats, your trophies or whatnot. It's the hard work. It's the playing fair. How did you lead? Yeah. Those are the things that we're talking about leaving. Because anybody can leave money, but those that leave how you done it and the way you were behind all that is the best thing that you can leave and have more of an impact on your family and friends around you.
Absolutely.
Mr. Thomas?
That's very good. Very good. And I totally agree with everything you said. And the one thing that's important about your children is that they continue when you're gone.
Huh.
So, the things that you give now, they perpetuate and go on into the future, teaching others how to serve, just like we're reading about here today in Proverbs.
Right. Absolutely.
I mean, I've mentioned this before on this program, but, the way I look at my kids is, this is the gift I leave the world. And, if I can do whatever I can do to give them all the tools and opportunities to make something of themselves and to live a fulfilling life, a life that they can ultimately turn on and pass on to other people before they go as well. That's really the building blocks that we're trying to accomplish generation after generation. And that's really the way I take this with respect to inheritance. The wealth is really the knowledge base that you are passing down. And if you're able to accumulate X amount of experience and sort of formulate that into something that you can provide in a positive light for someone else, that is making the world a better place than when you came in.
Yes, it is.
Well, we have as I sort of introduced pretty extensively here, a very special guest. And, I guess a fellow inductee with Coach Norman from
Classmate.
the 2025 class. We did a show just to fill you in here a little bit, Mr. Thomas. Like, we did a show about a recap of that event, and all three of us were there. We all got to see and hear everything firsthand, and there was few highlights that I guess stuck out.
Right.
And your name came up quite often in one of those standouts.
Yeah.
Both at the event and, from what I understand, around a little fire pit too. you're in digging into a little bit about what you've been able to accomplish in your career. I mean, I was blown away. I am a big fan of football, a big fan of football history. And I learned a lot just in the amount that I was able to, sort of study about you and your career. But I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself. I mean, I rattled off a bunch of stats, but who is Pat Thomas? Can you explain that to our audience?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to be here and to talk a little bit about things that have happened in my life, and hopefully add a little value to the group today. And when I think about who I am, it goes back to my great grandfather, my grandfather, my dad, my uncles, and the people that came before me, who set a precedent in our family on what to be like. Be good Christian people, but more than that, they spent their lives, as did my dad and my brothers and myself, serving other people. And it became what we do best, Some people think a lot about themselves and they build for themselves. And for us, we were always taught to serve, to help those that are in need and be thankful for the blessings that we have in front of us. And that, to me, has been the key to success in all of the areas I've been in, because at the end of the day, it's not about the game. It's about the people. It's about doing things for others and adding value. And I know some people will stop and say, well, how does that affect your football game? Well, you know what? At Plano, we won a lot of games. We was winning in school in the state of Texas for a long time. And it was all about each other. We were a group that Coach John Clark taught us the most important thing we had is us. And we would go out on that field, bloody, whatever it takes. Right. We would go out on that field, not for us, but for others, the people that we work with. And I was fortunate enough to experience that in Plano. And then Emory Ballard, these are people that treasure the game, but that wasn't the thing that drove them to winning and losing. It wasn't about them. No one on that team would survive if they were playing for themselves.
Right.
I was fortunate enough to be in high school, starting at 7th grade with integration, with people that would do anything for their teammates in order for us to win as one. And all the way through high school. And then with Emory Ballard at A&M, when we went in there, it was the beginning of integration. But you couldn't tell the guys that I was with a couple of weeks ago in my class, the class of 76, that it was just about football. We still gather together. We still go golfing together. We're still brothers, and everything we do is about the relationship that we built, working and giving our all to each other. It is amazing to you can talk like you did when you were in college.
Yes, sir.
You can have all the fun in the world going and reminiscing. And that was wonderful in college. But in the pros, you wouldn't expect that to happen as often. But the Rams were a winning team from when I was a kid.
Yeah.
They had winners. And I went there and I got to see why. And it was the same thing that happened at Plano. Same people that were sitting at A&M. It was the same people with Marilyn Olsen and Jack Youngblood and these legends that they played on broken legs They take shots. They do anything they could, not because they wanted to play football, but because they wanted the team to win. They cared about the people that they work with. And I came in and I felt at home.
Oh, yeah, right.
You know, it was my opportunity to just play football because I can, you know, when it comes to those people, hey, I can't say that I would fight for them, but I still sneak up on a couple of guys.
You were smart. You were smart. That's a business decision.
I had a one story I always tell people when they ask me about Conrad Dobler and with this St. Louis. He was beating when Maryland's last year he played. Conrad was beating him to death, and I'm sitting at the corner looking at him, and Maryland keeps getting up. Olsen, this is last year, and Conrad he was mean. He would hurt you in a minute. And I fooled her. I kept looking at it, and I started talk to Merle, and I look at him, and he just keep going. Man, it was in about the fourth quarter. He knocked Merlin down and stood up over him. And I ran off in there and hit him in his head, and he hit the ground. And then I ran back over on the other side. But I cared about my teammates so much that, you know, I couldn't stand him getting his ass whooped like that. So I love it. I had to do something about it to make me feel better. So, there he is right there. There he is. That's a mean guy. All that stuff on it, he was a mean guy. He played the game because he liked to hurt people. Right. I don't know if he cared about winning or losing, but anyway,
just hurt him, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, but as you go back and you look at the game and through all of the things I did as a player, all the guys, the 4 guys in the secondary, all pro on one team, first team, 3 first teamers. And we played for each other. We wouldn't let each other down. It's a major part of my growth. So having had that experience when I became a coach, it's the greatest thing that happened to me was to go in and teach others, to serve, to help them be the best that they could be. And some people think I had a good career, but the players that I coach, all the players that I have in the NFL coaching still, in colleges, in high schools, they're all pros, the Jim Thorpe Award winners. That is my greatest glory, is to see that my influence and what I taught them wasn't about the game.
Right.
It was about winning in life, being the best you can be, and working with a team that you loved and doing everything you could do there. These guys, that's what I see, Chris Dishman and Bubba McDowell, people like that. That's what they teach. They're head coaches, and they teach that is the most important thing. And so I'm really proud and happy that I was able to touch the lives of so many people that are now teaching others how to win in life.
Absolutely.
Same principles allow you to win in life. It's not about you. It's about serving others. And that's the way it's been for me.
Sounds like an inheritance that you're passing on to the next generation.
Oh, yeah. Well, if you talk to one of them, they could tell you about me and tell you the things that we did and, and what helped them to be the best. It's like the kid, Zion, once I'd sent him a text to tell him that it looked like me out there. He went back and said, Pat, I still, after every game, I still go back to all the notes I used in the 9th grade. And because I've got everything written down that you told me, everything you taught me to do got me here. And I thank you for that. And and I sat down and I'm thinking, you know what? That's a good thing, to see him be successful and to still use the tools of the trade, because they work all the time. And that was that really meant a lot to me to know that he'll be teaching it one day.
Yeah, that's an awesome story, Mr. Thomas. I know as we were talking, sitting around the campfire and whatnot, and you brought up these twins. When you said Zion and Tristan, I was like, I know both of them. I said, I know them because so their mother, we went to school. Tisha is their mother.
Yeah, Trisha, yeah.
Tisha is their mother.
Wow.
We went to school together at Texas Tech, and man, I remember when those boys were born, man, and just seeing them growing up and just following them through their career and everything. It's just a small world where come to find out, like you coached them at Galveston Ball, and even coming back, coming back from the Hall of Fame that weekend. I think it was a couple of days ago. Actually, I text Tisha, and I guess we got the same numbers. I was like, so do you know Coach Pat Thomas? And she was like, man, I keep in touch with him all the time.
Wow.
Man. But she said something that was so real. Is she said, he was one of the few people that believed in my boys the way he did, and they're where they're at now because of him.
Wow.
And that was a really great thing, man. Like, because they didn't go to no big schools, they didn't get recruited out, you know what I'm saying? They went to Sam Houston State. But both of them in the league right now and balling. One of them just won the Super Bowl. So it's like, man, it's just crazy, man. I just really enjoyed that story and enjoyed that connection right there. It's a small world.
That's cool. I didn't know that to know.
Yeah.
God puts you in places. And he does it for a reason. If you're one of his children, he does it for a reason. All you got to do is just wait for what he wants you to do, because it's going to be something. He's going to keep you moving, and it's always going to be valued around serving others. And you know why? It was one person that is probably the most important person name that I've ever known that is the most important. And what he did was serve, and that was Jesus Christ.
John 13:17.
Talk about it now.
You can't go wrong. How can you go wrong?
No.
We serve. That's what we do.
Yeah.
And it hasn't changed. And guess what? Those kids aren't going to change either.
Right.
They're going to teach others to do exactly the same thing, just like my great-grandfather did.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you about that. Of course, we, like you just mentioned, the greatest man that came from heaven and walked this earth, done exactly that. Served, washed the feet of his disciples that he didn't have to, but he did. And servanthood, if you're going to be a great leader, you have to serve. And I think that's one of the attributes that these coaches nowadays are missing. They're all about how they can win and improve themselves and make themselves better versus the individual that's under them. Serve them, like, and it'll come back, right? Because you pouring into these kids' life,
right?
Absolutely.
So when you look at those two particular athletes who are obviously brothers, twins, played under your leadership, you've taught them things both on and off the field. You see where they've gone in life and what they've accomplished so far. What does that mean just for you every time you flip on the TV and you see a highlight? Like, we were talking a little bit beforehand about how family sort of is the root of everything. Do you sort of like bring them under that same umbrella, knowing that you had such an impact in their life?
Well, I just don't think that they would have done it any other way from what they were taught, and they saw it come to fruition.
Right.
They learned to love, and they learned to care about other people, and they learned to fight for other people. And so that they all could have the joys of the things that they deserve in life and that they want. So it's just good to be able to know that even if they don't get it, it's up to you to teach it.
Right.
And these kids, these kids saw it face to face on a daily basis, not changing, and not even saying anything about the history behind me.
Yes, sir.
All the people that taught me, it wasn't about that.
Your
It
action.
was about giving them tools to work with.
Yeah.
Be the best they could be. But you can't even get there if you're trying to do it for, you'll quit on yourself.
Yeah.
But hey, I don't know many kids that'll quit on their family.
And that's a critical lesson, I guess, for coaches nowadays too, right? I mean, coaching and parents, and we touch on this quite often on this show about, you know, everybody thinks that their 5-year-old is the next NFL superstar, all-star, and, you know, future MVP, and, you know, they treat him as such, but, you know, you forget about some of the fundamentals that, you know, work both on and off the field that are critical at that age in appreciating the value behind the game and then expanding that outward in life, wherever life may take you, whether that's still on the field or off the field in general. So again, you know, just focusing on, I guess, the individual, focusing on providing them the tools to succeed at the respective sport, position, activity, you know, life goal, whatever it is, that live in that moment now and let them build on that experience from that tool that was provided to them.
Absolutely. It makes me proud when I see Marcus Robinson and you know, Will Lewis and Chris Dishman and Bubba McDowell, Richard Johnson, big play Ray Buchanan and Jason Belcher. I go down through all of the guys that I coached, and they're successful people. And, you know, and whenever I see them again, they smile, and the first thing they don't want to do is get a hug. And, you know, and we do that because, you know, they know how to treat people. They know that they were blessed in being in the right place at the right time and learning the things that they did, just like I did. Like the coaches I had were just, I mean, they did everything just like I think good Lord wanted them to. So that's all. It's all good. And, you know, just adds value to other people's lives is always critical to try to live it in a good way and have good people to look at and value it with.
Absolutely. Mike, you got next?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we touched on a lot of these things in just various ways, but, you know, there's a huge gap between, you know, your high school place kicking glory, the Super Bowl, and then of course your coaching career. You know, there's a lot of things that I guess you've experienced and gone through in life and in your career, but can you share some of your favorite moments that perhaps some people haven't heard yet?
Well, you know, the moments that I have that I can't share, somebody was getting hurt.
Hey, you can share them moments. Those are the moments we need to know about.
I have to tell the truth. That's so terrible.
I'm gonna put this back up.
Man, so Mike brought this up to me earlier. And Lynn Swann.
Yeah.
Man, you know what? We fall all the time. The thing about it, you know, the very best against the very best, and yeah, we won the 2 games before we played them before the Super Bowl, and we played them in a championship game in Pittsburgh, and we lost on a Hail Mary that fell out of the chest of the receiver, and then that game we went to the Super Bowl. Well, you know, I caught more interceptions on Pittsburgh than Swann caught passes.
Oh wow!
I did, and then now he's one of those guys as cocky as he could be, and so I'm playing on one leg as it is, and he gets Terry gets Mac to protect. Nolan is in free safety, and he runs down the field, and I'm letting him go to Nolan. I'm just he throws that. That's going to be an interception. So I keep behind him, and I see the ball go up, and then he goes up in the air and catches the ball. Nolan misses it, and I throw him down. And then all I can think about, my mama saw that.
Hey,
I swear to God, I'm thinking, damn, my mama saw me and he caught that. They gonna think that was mine. He caught that on me.
right.
Next play. I go to the sideline. I'm mad as hell, throwing everything. Everybody gets out of my way, and I go back out there the next play, and I line up on him, and it got personal. Is what it did. The ball was snapped, and when the ball was snapped, I ran at him, and Lynn started backing out, and I hit him in the face, bam, with my fist. And then I hit his ass again. He started running to the umpire. And the umpire ain't gonna stop me. You know, you ain't gonna finish this game. I looked at his ass. I said, "You're not gonna finish this game." My mama saw that shit.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Lynn know, and he knew that if I ever got close to him again, he was gonna be hurt. Yeah. So it was the third down, and we went to man, and that's when that play took place. And it wasn't about me really wanting to hurt him. I just didn't want him to win the game, and I didn't want him to make me look like no fool either. Right. So I hit him up under there, and what happened, I grabbed his legs, and I just kept running. And I kept running until his head hit the ground. And when his head hit the ground, I turned and I hit him in his chest. And I hit him and I looked at his eyes. They were rolling. Do you know that boy still had the ball in his hand?
Still had the ball.
He still caught the ball and he didn't know where he was. And I looked at him and man, I got up. And it was the last play he ever played.
Yeah.
But you can tell
the last play he ever played.
Yeah. No, he didn't play again. That was his last play in the Super Bowl game and then the next year's.
Wow. When you were sort of at this part right here, when you saw him leap, were you hoping that he would jump so you can make that kind of play, or were you just trying to?
It wouldn't have made no difference what he did. I was going to try to make sure he didn't play another play.
Hey, Mr. Thomas, I'd like to just interject. My years at playing DB, we got a chance, of course, to be rough with the receivers. And if a ball was overthrown and they jumped and they touched it, I am going to clean your clock. They can't play like that now. So these DBs and receivers don't understand your thought process through this. And I do. Like, this kind of stuff that gets my blood boiling, because give me a chance to get you. I'm gonna clean you up.
We're gonna take advantage of it.
Oh yeah.
Man, it was that was I wasn't trying to hurt nobody, but I didn't want them to play, and I just couldn't stand. I didn't want to lose.
Right.
If I let him play the rest of this game, they pretty much gonna win this game. So I'm gonna make sure I take his ass out, give us a shot, and I really believe that. Now, don't say that to the kids that are on the network. I can't get excited about things sometimes. So
no, but that's the thing about it. It's a difference between being hurt and being injured.
Yeah,
and we tell the kids that all the time. But football is a violent sport. Football is a violent sport, and you have to be violent when you out there on the field. You know, we have some of the nicest guys off the field or whatnot, but when they touch that field, when they get between them lines,
yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's
you need to be intimidating.
Yeah. See, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be out there and like he said, I'm trying to hurt you. I don't want to injure you. I don't want to end your career, but I'm definitely trying to hurt you, because that's what I'm here for. I'm letting out all of these frustrations of what's going on at home, and everything else, and I'm letting it out on you.
You know, he wasn't the only one. You know, you got Earl. I took Earl out, took Billy Sims out. You know.
Wait a minute, hold on. Earl, you said Earl Campbell?
Yeah.
Ooh, big thighs, Earl.
Yeah.
The-
This is in college. He tried to run over me. And Earl did. This is our first game, my senior year. A&M won. We won against Texas, and Earl was there. This is his second year, and so Marty Akins was a quarterback, and so with Marty we roughed him up already, but Earl took the ball and saw it was nobody but me and him, and he ran straight at me. And when he did, I ducked down. And with my shoulder, and I left his ass up in the air, and I was dumping him, and my linebacker, Ed, hit him, and he fumbled the ball. We recovered it, and it was in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes in the game, and we kicked the field goal and won the game. But Earl, that wasn't the time I hurt him. That was the time I hurt his feelings.
So he got a double hurt.
Yeah. Well, when we were in the NFL, he knew who I was, and he tried to run out of bounds, and I put my helmet in his ribs because he know I was gonna get him before it was over with, just because he went to Texas. So
yes, sir.
Yes, man, don't tell everybody all this stuff I'm telling you now.
This is good.
I got a follow up to that Super Bowl play with Lynn. The very next play was an interception by Eddie Brown. And as a coach, usually look at a highlight, a pretty prominent play in the game, and you always look at the next play and you see the attitude of the player, right? You want to see how they, sort of either overcome an adversity from the previous play or how they deal with, being pumped up with all that adrenaline because of a big hit. Well, I'd like you to walk us through this particular highlight because in the Super Bowl, in the situation, after taking out Lynn Swann by accident, Eddie Brown picks off Bradshaw, and it almost looks like you were begging him to lateral you the ball.
I don't know if I did. I couldn't run. I was on one leg.
Bam.
But look, here it comes. No, give me.
Now I don't even remember that one. That's amazing. Are you serious?
Very next play after that hit on Swann.
Wow. He picked that thing off. Man.
That's amazing.
He pitched it to you.
I hadn't seen that one. I can't believe he pitched me the ball, but I did not remember that. I was so.
I got to look this up.
He was a historian.
Yeah,
he said he was a historian. He found all the old clips.
The one piece I wasn't able to verify, you actually have 6 interception return yards in a Super Bowl without the interception. So I don't know if anybody else has any interception yards without actually having the official pick. But I thought that was pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, is that my trivia question?
Nope, I got a good one for you later, though. All right. Well, final highlight, I guess, from that game, and unfortunately, this was with a little over 2 minutes to go, and I feel like you're going to have some friendly company here with 2 fellow defensive backs sitting on the red couch.
Right.
A little over 2 minutes to go in the game. Steelers are driving. Very controversial call that ultimately led to Franco Harris running in the touchdown. But let's watch that play. John and I were sort of breaking this down before. I tend to agree with him. It looks like you got there first. Looks like it shouldn't have been. And based on your demeanor, I think you agree too.
Mm-hmm. Is this the bomb?
Yep.
This is the flag that shouldn't have been a flag.
Oh no! Well, there's no way it's a flag.
Whoa!
Oh shit!
Dang, Mr. Thomas, you was in the official. Oh, I just you were mean for real. Oh my goodness!
How you find all of this, man?
Okay, hang on. Look, you beat him to the spot on one leg.
He right
you
in
go
front
back,
of him.
you play the ball. The ball enters his hands. You reach up your arms and you break up the play.
Well,
Where's the penalty?
that should have been interference against him. He
That's-
ran over me. He pushed me out of the way. I got the position. He pulled me out of the way. That's pass interference on him.
That was back in the days. They didn't get no flag for taking off their helmet then.
Yeah, man. I look at that.
That
Look,
is
right there.
Now, being
textbook.
able to get the ball out of his hand falling like that
That's pretty athletic.
yeah. But watch this. Watch this. When he's gonna get the ball going the other way.
Oof.
He hit the floor.
Ooh.
Wait a minute. When he hit the ground, no, that wasn't it. But you see that play again. It's one of them where Franco had scored the touchdown, but I hit his ass anyway.
I love it.
It was.
You're gonna get there, you're gonna go ahead and use some energy.
Yeah, we
You're
gonna
gonna take
it.
When he didn't score then, but I went from the left side over here all the way to the other side and hit him when he hit the ground. I'm pretty sure.
Well, he seems to be walking in circles there.
For real.
Yeah, I mean, it's 5 yards and a headache, right? That's the way we used to call it. Just making sure they know that you were there, so that they have second thoughts the next time that you're gonna run around. So, yeah, I mean, look, the Super Bowl is what it is, right? I mean, it was a defining game, obviously, in history. You made your mark not only with that lateral and with the hit on Swann, but now learning that you played it on one leg, man.
Yeah,
that's
remarkable.
You tore when I tore my Achilles, it was midway through the season, and we had 6 games left.
Hold on. You said you tore your Achilles?
Yes, I shredded it. I shredded the Achilles tendon and tore the gastric muscle, and I did not play for 6 weeks. Didn't touch the field, and in 6 weeks we played the first game, a playoff game against Dallas, and then we beat them. I'm playing on one leg. They threw the ball at me a bunch, but they didn't throw as many as Tampa Bay did. Tampa Bay, we played the next game. They threw the ball at me 22 times. They caught 3 passes. And
how many points did they score in that game?
They didn't score. It was a low-scoring game.
It was 9-0.
Yeah,
you guys shut them out.
Yeah.
Now, this is that injury that's taken out Damon, all these NBA players, right?
Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, Kobe.
Well,
but when he tore his Achilles, and then I think wasn't it Jason Tatum? Jason Tatum just tore his Achilles.
You can't get up in those 6 weeks. Can't nobody do that.
That's what I'm tripping on. Like 6 weeks? Like you came back 6 weeks and you on the Achilles tear? That's crazy.
This my left foot was tied with tape all the way down, so I couldn't even bend my toe. I couldn't bend nothing. I was like a stick. Running like a stick out there, and but then. Like I said, I had the Dallas game. Dallas was afraid to throw the ball at me because I had got more interceptions on them than they called passes. They didn't like me at all because I'm from Plano. And, I know Tom personally, and they were supposed to draft me in the first round and didn't. They told me they would. So they never won a game when they played the Rams while I was there. Did not.
Hey,
so,
that was they mess up,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, but
so that's the ultimate revenge right there.
We played them a lot, Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota beat us in a game that was more remarkable than that. My very first year, we played them, and we're playing in the championship game. We're playing in Minnesota, and we're 2 points behind. No, we were ahead by a point. We drove down to their 10-yard line. It's the very end of the game. The clock is about over. It's about 5 seconds on the clock, and we're ahead, and we're going to kick a field goal. We kicked and I'm playing then. That's my rookie year. We kicked the dadgum field goal, and they block it. Well, they blocked the field goal. It wasn't about any seconds left on the clock. We were at their 5-yard line, and number 20, the old free safety for Minnesota. I don't know if y'all remember him. He got the ball and scored a touchdown, and they won the game with no time left on the clock.
Wow.
We didn't even have to kick it.
Yeah.
And we kicked it, and they blocked it.
Yeah, I went to kick it, and they blocked it.
Yeah. And this is going back all the way down the field, and it had to be a touchdown.
Right.
And we lost. That was my rookie year. I would have been playing in the Super Bowl my rookie year if we would have won. So anyway, that's the stuff that we did. And that running back of theirs, I didn't like him at all. Chuck, what's his name? 44, the big running back from Minnesota. I got him in the ribs one time, and
you sure like getting people in their ribs.
He was cocky. He was one of, I didn't like cocky people. They
Foreman
hurt me, make me mad. So anyway,
Chuck Foreman.
What was the name, Mike?
Huh?
Chuck Foreman.
Yeah, Chuck Foreman. That's who it was. Foreman.
There you go.
If you ever watch Chuck, you could see the cockiness in him. He was a hell of a player, but why do you have to be cocky? Why don't you just play the game?
Yeah, right.
Shit, man. You God blessing you, and you sitting up here trying to get all the glory.
Right. All the glory.
It's enough for us to share. Come on now.
It's football has been really good for us, and being able, like I said, having the ability to teach the science of the game to the people I coach, and of all these things we talked about, that's my greatest joy, is to be able to teach them things that allow them to have tools to work with on the field and be the best they could be. And that I really thank God for as much as anything, and my health and just getting an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl. It's really, really a pleasure.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's so awesome, man.
The two gentlemen on the couch.
Wait a minute. But this is the one thing I want to say before we get off the air, though. One thing that I never did do is get no dang 10 interceptions, man, in a year.
Oh man.
You didn't get to do that.
No, I'm sitting up there. I said 10. One single person got 10.
Well, it was actually
one of 100 yards. Oh man, I tell you, I want to be like you. I got you, dog.
Well, it was actually 11. They didn't count my playoff interception.
Regular season.
Yeah, they just did a regular season. So you
never heard about anything like that in high school football, man.
Yeah,
shoot,
man.
that was amazing. I wish I would have known that before now, man. That was I told my guys it's possible. Because
it is.
I'm not kidding. I was like 10 in high school. Wow.
Yeah, get you won the game.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
well, you had Coach A. Island on the field too, right? So they weren't throwing the ball his way.
Well, they understood who he was, so they tried to come my way, and I made them pay, right?
Yeah, see, because that happened. That was my school year.
Were you a corner or safety?
I was a corner. John was a safety.
Yeah. That's what I was wondering if you were.
Yes, sir. So his junior year, he had those interceptions.
Yeah.
So they scored away from him. So they came to my side, and I had 9.
You had 9?
Yes, sir. We were snapping things out there.
Y'all must have ran track too.
Oh yeah,
okay.
we
I
ran
was gonna
track.
say y'all had some speed, man. This was. I know you couldn't have done that without speed. I'm just telling you. And y'all had. That's why I figured y'all had to have some. Go ahead, man. Now we just in the backyard.
These conversations always end up back on track, huh?
Yeah, right.
Hey, man.
That's
good
amazing, man.
Go visit.
I love hearing that, man.
Right.
I didn't even know. I played corner in high school and running back, and I returned punts. I did all of that, kicked the ball and stuff. But the one thing that I did, I didn't know how to backpedal when I went to A&M. You know,
wait, Tom.
We're playing
No, there's no way.
We're playing catch technique. We're playing zones, and we're just basically backing up and then opening up.
Yeah.
They're not throwing the ball a whole lot in
Yes, sir.
Right.
Okay.
high school. And so, when I got to A&M, I was still able to cover people, and I backpedal a little, but I didn't learn how to really backpedal as a professional until Monty Jackson was at the Rams when I went there. He's from my hometown, Plano, but he had moved before we got together there. But he taught me how to backpedal. He's all pro. He was all pro and just the best there was on the field. So, but that's when I learned how to backpedal, man. And so it was a different way. You just go out there and cover a guy. They don't teach you no technique in the 60s. So it's all about the wishbones and the veer, and it was a running era, wasn't it?
Yeah. It sounds like a little youth football today.
Sounds like an era where cornerbacks had to know how to hit too.
Because back then, or a lot of people say, make the safety miss and make the corner tackle because corners can't tackle. I'm gonna get you down.
Yeah.
Make the safety corner. Oh yeah. You can't do that nowadays.
That's amazing. That's amazing, man. I really was just impressed with that. It's stuck in my head for a long time. I was just excited, man. How could he do that? Well, you got to be an athlete to do that.
He was snapping out there.
All right.
All right, let's try to stump Coach A.
Okay.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I was last week. It's him.
All right, Coach. Okay, whoever gets it first, let's jump on that one.
All right.
So we're going to talk about the 1976 NFL draft. Who was the first overall pick in that draft? Hint. It was a player that ultimately would be the team's first inductee into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And he had an amazing barbecue joint.
I don't know.
Hold on.
Number one in the 76 NFL draft.
Who was it?
You played against him in the championship game on the run to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. Let me go with Earl Campbell. Links. Ding, ding.
Man, he got links, man.
No, see, he wasn't. Earl wasn't in our class, so. He wasn't in my class in 76.
Man, who got
Think creamsicles.
Huh?
Creamsicles.
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 I don't know.
He was a part of arguably the worst team in NFL history in
Browns?
that 76 season.
Jim Brown.
Nope.
I'm thinking I'm going to get you, sucker.
What position did he play?
I believe he was a defensive end.
Okay.
Defensive end.
Can I get a rib?
Interesting. I don't know.
We all stumped on this one.
So yeah, I can't even imagine who that. Leroy. Oh man,
Leroy Selman.
Oh,
Mr. Leroy himself.
Oh,
1976 was the expansion year for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Seattle Seahawks. Tampa Bay, that they had that infamous highlight where the punter missed the ball when he was trying to kick it. I believe they won one game that season. They got so much flack for their uniform colors and uniform design.
I got the jersey at the house,
But
white and orange. Yeah.
Leroy was a legend, still is. They named highways after him. He was a prominent figure in Tampa. And when I went out there a couple of years ago, I just stumbled upon his barbecue restaurant, and man, was it delicious.
Okay.
Wow.
We got a different type of barbecue here in Texas. Like,
Was
Texas
some Texas barbecue or some
was
Florida barbecue?
Yeah.
So, Mr. Thomas, I went out to Waco to watch you guys in the induction ceremony, and I took my whole family, and we went to Dallas first. We hung out with some friends, and we went to all these different barbecue places and ate, and it seemed like every time we walked outside, it smelled like barbecue. So my daughter, who's 5, we walk outside the hotel. She turns around and looks at me. She's like, "Are we going to eat again?"
That's that mesquite getting them nostrils.
Yeah.
I was like, "Welcome to Texas."
That's funny.
That is hilarious, man.
Amazing.
Leroy
All
said, man, hey, he went to OU, didn't he?
He did.
Mhm.
Yeah. Got some connections with them.
Whoa, Leroy.
Yeah, through Josh. Josh.
Your brother.
Yeah, he went to school with his daughters and all of them. That they all went to OU up there. So yeah, my brother went to OU.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, man.
He was the force in the league, wasn't he?
My knowledge is that he was a really good player. I remember that. I don't know exactly how long he played is the question.
Right.
He wasn't no Pat Thomas.
No.
Dude,
Been
hey,
there for a minute.
well,
2-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, got that pension. No.
man, I tell you what, shoot, I just hope he didn't have to get as many surgeries after football as I did. Hey, I'm gonna start. Y'all gonna make me start counting up what's got me old.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
I've been cut off so many places. It's just crazy, And I didn't get to fill my career out, because when my last year I was going in after my 7th year, I was going in my 8th year, and I went into camp. I just bought a house in Newport Beach. I'm gonna make this short. I bought a house in Newport Beach. It's like $600,000 or something, and just a beautiful house looking over the back bay in Newport. And I came in and took a physical, and they passed me on my physical and told me to come on the camp. I came on the camp because my knee was hurt. It was moving like this, 3 inches.
God.
Wow.
Dang.
Okay, well, hey, if they know I'm going to come on in. I got a guaranteed contract. I'm highest paid corner in the league. So I go into camp. Yeah, I go into camp, and I say, "Hey, man, how you doing, curling?" And he says, "Pat, look, man, you might as well get your stuff. You don't need to unpack. Just take your stuff and go on home. We're going to trade you." I said, "What?" He said, "We're going to trade you." I said, "Oh, okay." So I go home. I just bought this house, just moved out here in Newport Beach, and they then all of a sudden they told me they're going to trade me to the Raiders. The Raiders had just moved out to California after playing in the stadium.
Right.
So I go in and take my physical, and the doctor had me come get my leg up on the table, and the first thing he did, he moved my leg and said, "What?" He said, "Pat, did Dr. Curlin know your leg?" I said, "Yeah, he passed me on the physical." So, this physical is over with. You can put your clothes on and go on back home.
Wow.
So I never got a chance to prove that I could not play football still. I left my home and lost all my money to go back and coach with the Houston Gamblers. Took 2 years of litigation to prove who owed the debt on my guaranteed contract.
Yes, sir.
And I didn't play for the Raiders.
Right.
And it took 2 years to go to court and for them to settle and the Rams to pay me. And they only paid me for 1 year. And then half of that had to go to the lawyers.
Yeah, the lawyer's fees.
and what I lost buying that house. And
Yes, it
now,
did.
So the thing is, the reason I tell you this story is because it's the wildest thing about my career is that I never had a chance to prove that I couldn't still play.
Right.
I somebody loves the game as much as I do. That's a big blow. But I think about it, and you know what? God knows best.
Yes, he does.
Man, you know how many surgeries I done had from the stuff that got done because I would play hurt with my Achilles. I had the knees where they go in with the thing and not clean up the cartilage, clean up this 4 times on each knee.
Right.
Kelly, that ligament on the left side, my leg, big long cut, and then finally I got a replacement. But both shoulders, the rotator cuff, I've been operated on both of them. I got a big cut in the back of my neck. Well, nerve. Y'all want me to keep going?
Wow.
Wow.
Man.
So
that's amazing.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm sitting up here thinking I'm mad. Now I'm 70. I'm thinking, God, thank you for not letting.
Thank you for going. Hey, when we tell God our plans, He laugh at us, boy.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. So anyway, I just had to say that too, because people don't realize just what can happen. You could be the very best, and the league and the owners are they're thinking about the money. They're not thinking about you.
Yes, sir. Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they can replace you, but it was one of those things that, like I said, at the end of the day, after I finished my career and I'm retired, I probably wouldn't have been able to walk if I would have went for 2 more years.
Exactly.
Because I played that hard. I played so hard that, injuries were going to come. You can't do the things that I tried to do.
Played on one leg, man. Broken Achilles.
Right.
That knocks people out today with all the medical advancements and rehab and everything on all the different procedures. That knocks people out for over a year. I mean, I remember when what's his name from Minnesota tore his Achilles and came back the following year and actually won the MVP, Adrian Peterson. That was a miracle upon modern medicine because nobody thought that would be possible.
Right.
That's just a ligament that you cannot. That's critical for every step. And you did that on one foot, man. That's incredible.
Right.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they can definitely do it. And shoot, I wish I would have had a chance for them to do mine.
Get yours done like that, huh?
Well, I'm pretty sure Lynn Swann still wakes up with nightmares of that hit.
Well, we don't speak to each other anymore.
Hey, we
want to thank everybody for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Drop in some comments. Drop in some stumpers for Coach A and Coach Norman. Registration for fall football and cheer continue to roll on. So spots are filling up quick. Be sure you contact your ADs to reserve your spot on the team. Roundup is actually extremely excited to announce their next event from West Texas to Super Bowl glory, a dinner event with Dominique Rhodes. Registration and sponsorship opportunities are open on the Power 5 football website. Space and sponsorships are limited, so make sure you reserve that spot. Gentlemen, this has been one of the best episodes I feel like we've pumped out here. Do we have any final thoughts, any final comments or questions from Mr. Thomas?
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Hey, just for me, I didn't say a lot this episode. It's just because I just wanted to gather what I can and what I could from Mr. Thomas, and just to hear some of the most important things that he had to say, and that was just serving others. So I have to do a better job of building my servanthood up so that I can have the long life effects on those that are up under me. So I appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Norm has my number. I'm one of those kind of people, anybody can call. Well, you talk, if you know me, you give me a call, visit, talk about football, talk about angles, talk about anything like that. I have a lot of people that I communicate with
Yes,
that
sir.
way. And tools of the trade is my MO. And so everything that happens on the field, from a secondary standpoint,
Mhm.
I have a tool that works all the time.
Yes, sir.
And I can share those with you, with the kids that you're working with, even to like the boys in the 9th grade. You know, those tools still work for him today.
Uh-huh.
So
one of the things that we usually ask of our guests is to provide a weekly athlete tip of the week. You know, what's one thing that, you know, you can, I mean, we talked a lot of, you know, the character building and the winning at life angle, but is there one tip that you want to leave us off with today that, you know, maybe gives them opportunity to perfect and work on before the next episode?
well, in order for you to line up and play the game of football, the most important thing that I think you as a defender have to do is to basically use pre-snap analysis.
Mm.
That will set your mind to get you as close as possible to where the play is going to take place regarding your position. Just pre-snap analysis, down and distance, field position, people, personnel, all weather. All of those is under the auspices of pre-snap analysis.
Absolutely.
If the game is 7 to 55, probabilities change, don't they?
Yes.
Yep.
Those are the things that I've taught every place I've been, and all of these people have been successful using it. And there's a whole bunch of other ones. Last thing I'll say, for defensive back, if you don't understand angles, you're going to lose a lot of interceptions and a lot of opportunities because angles nullify probabilities. If you get a guy going down the line of scrimmage, he's not running a goal. If you get a guy running toward the sideline, he's not running a post.
Right.
Things, angles tell you probabilities before the point of attack. And those are two critical elements that the defensive back can play, even if it's a run.
Yep.
And you got somebody coming to block you, and the guy has the ball. It's the angle of the blocker that you have to acknowledge in order to get to where the ball carrier is going or make the ball carrier go.
Yes. Yeah.
That's what I got.
Man, that is so whoo, I got the chills right now, boy. That's some deep teaching right there, Mr. Thomas. I'm gonna tell you.
Jewel.
They can learn it.
Great jewel. Yeah, oh yeah.
They can learn those things. I saw them do it. That was a test for me to do that with the 9th grade kids.
Right.
And they did it. And but it worked in the league. Can it work for them? Yeah, it can.
Yes, it can.
And I've seen it every place I've been. And so anyway, that's it for me.
Final question for you. Do you teach backpedaling?
Do I teach backpedaling? Well, you know what? Backpedaling isn't something that you teach because backpedaling is more like running in position. So you might backpedal 2 steps if it's a 3-step route. You might backpedal 6 steps, but you're not going to backpedal 10 steps because somebody's running by your ass.
They eat up that cushion. It's time to flip them hips.
It's right there. You line up at 7. You're not going to get to go to 12 hardly. So backpedaling is not a major part, but reading that quarterback on when he's going to throw the ball. If it's a 3-step route, his hands is here. If he goes and do play action, it's going to be past 12. If they go from here to the edge, it's going to be a deep ball down the field. On bootleg, what they do tell you, I didn't hardly ever watch receivers. This one didn't watch receivers. Quarterbacks and formations told us what we want to do. But they tell you won't ever get beat deep if you understand the science of the game and the probabilities based on whether it's a 3-step route, whether it's a single receiver, whether it's a 5-step, whether it's a bootleg.
Yeah.
It tells you when the ball is ready to come. Now you got to be in position. So when the ball's thrown, you can be at the head of the triangle. Every play has a triangle.
Yes.
Mhm.
From the quarterback to the receiver to the defensive back. And that is the point of attack, wherever that ball ends up. That's kind of what I work with.
Say, man, I'm
He
telling
needs
you,
to do a DB class, and I will be on front row.
front row.
So yeah, but that's
Man, I just want to say, man, I'm so thankful for you, Mr. Thomas, having the opportunity to meet you and learn who you are and your family, your wonderful wife. It's just it's real comforting to know that, you know, we have leaders like yourself that are out there. And you know, that's what we strive to be as well. You know, we want to take those same qualities and pass them on to the younger generation, as you guys have done, as you guys have done for us. And so I just want to say thank you. And it's been an honor and a pleasure.
Yes,
I'd love to
man.
have you on again. And we're gonna be down in Houston too.
okay.
Yeah, my son's brother actually plays receiver for the Cougars.
All right.
Yeah, he just transferred here this year from UAB. He's in Houston now. So we're gonna come down there when Tech come play Houston. So we're gonna check that out. But yeah, I just want to say thank you, man. Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a privilege to get to speak with you.
I'm really so happy to be here. But you know what, Norm? It didn't take me long to know when I was talking to you that you are a good person. You know, I dig and I look for people that are good people. You know, and you know what? You can tell the difference when you got the light of the Lord inside you, and you talk to somebody for a few minutes. You already know whether they're good people or whether they're not. And you know, I say that because you are one of them. It was easy for me to sit down, not knowing y'all, out there on the patio, talking like I'm talking to my brother.
Yes, sir. Yes,
That's
sir.
because I could see what was in you from that short period of time.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing, you know, when you find kindred spirits. Shoot, man, stand up and roll with it, man. Praise the Lord.
Amen.
All right, thank you, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad you came. You did a magnificent job. You shocked me. I went to tell my wife what I saw. Hey, man, I had a ball in the Super Bowl. I didn't know I put my head on. You pulling out some sneakers on me, man. That was really neat. Oh my God.
It was an honor and a privilege to be, you know, taking down that journey with you again. And like Coach Norman and Coach A had said, like, we'd be honored to have you back. You know, we're in the process right now of building something special. Actually, the two guys on the couch are building something super special in the West Texas basin with respect to football and a lot of other sports too. But we're providing an opportunity for these kids to experience what possibilities there are by taking football and athletics to that next level, both on and off the field. So I think a lot of these qualities align with everything that you described about, you know, winning at life and being, you know, family orientated. And, you know, these types of qualities are very contagious. And we are very honored and blessed that you joined us here today. And, you know, we're going to take that wealth and we're going to pass that inheritance on the best way that we could, to quote our proverb once again.
Absolutely.
This has been a great episode. We thank everybody once again for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And we will see you guys on the next episode.
All right. Yeah. And thank you, guys. God bless you.
Yeah,
thank you too, sir.
All right. Y'all have a wonderful day.
0, 1. Let's get started.